Good evening. When we left Sam and the Barkers, our last reading, we had let Hannibal join the club, but Hannibal had to make a promise. Do you remember what that was? Hannibal promised no litter box and no mice in the clubhouse. So what do you think? Hannibal breaks his promise. Hannibal Breaks His Promise is a Sam and Friends book written by Vicki Diane Wessling, illustrated by Dan Drews. And this particular book had a special chief literary critic, Michael Blue, and an illustrative design consultant, Annette Asbell. So Hannibal Breaks His Promise is dedicated to all of those children who sometimes have to struggle. They have to struggle to keep their promises and make good decisions. But Sam, he believes in children. So this book is dedicated to those children. So we left Sam and the Barkers at their clubhouse. They were resting. The three dogs, Sam, Boots, and Rudy, had become quite content with meeting at their clubhouse and just hanging out. The Barkers were a happy group with Hannibal, the big yellow cat, as their only other official member. Sam looked over at Hannibal and woofed. "Remember, Hannibal, when you were sitting up in that tree watching us? Isn't it wonderful how we all learned that we can actually get along, even though we're very different?" "It sure is, Sam," meowed Hannibal as he licked his paws and purred lazily. "But it's not always easy," he purred as he looked toward the grassy field that was a part of Farmer Campbell's farm. The dogs stretched and rolled over, thinking of what they might do today. Their usual routine would be that one of them would come to the clubhouse with milk bones, another might drop in with a piece of cheese or a sausage link. Every now and then they might play with sticks or ropes, but all in all, they were quite comfortable in their clubhouse made of cardboard. "This is a great place to meet, isn't it?" barked Rudy, to no one in particular. "It sure is," Sam softly barked. "But let's go out for a while. I'm tired of just lying around here. Let's go chase some squirrels or something. We can go by the tennis courts and look for tennis balls." "Hey, that sounds like fun," yelped Boots. "Let's go." All of the dogs agreed and headed out of the clubhouse. But Hannibal, he stayed behind. He was curled up in the one ray of sunlight shining in through the hole in the cardboard. "Hey, Hannibal, aren't you coming?" barked Rudy, stopping to see that Hannibal had not followed them. "No, I think I will stay here. Cats aren't like dogs, you know. We like lying around and just basking in the sunshine. You dogs go ahead and have fun. I'll be here when you get back," he purred as he put his paw up to his mouth as if to cover a yawn. "Well, okay, if that's the way you want it. Come on, boys," barked Boots. The dogs all ran out of the yard and down to the lake. There, waiting for them, were the seagulls and the sandpipers. They all fluttered and squawked as the dogs approached. Sam was the fastest of the three, and he ran and jumped at the seagulls. The Canadian geese came flying over and honked their welcome to the three friends. The birds had actually missed the dogs. It seemed that once the clubhouse was built, the dogs didn't come to the beach so much anymore, and the birds could see that all three had gained a little weight from just lying around most of the day. "Where have you dogs been?" honked one of the big birds. "You're looking fat and lazy." "Fat and lazy, are we?" barked Boots. "We'll show you fat and lazy." The three dogs ran and chased the geese with all their might. They ran up the beach and into the little cove made of rocks and sand, then back again. The birds flew overhead and honked, squawked, and laughed as the three dogs jumped and chased after them. "It's a good thing that we can't fly," barked Sam as he jumped in the air toward the geese. "We'd show you who was fat." But soon the dogs grew tired and decided to go up to the tennis courts and look for balls. That would give them time to catch their breath. In the meantime, Hannibal was licking his lips. It had been a while since he had eaten a fat, juicy mouse, and he was plenty hungry. Once the dogs got out of sight, Hannibal left the clubhouse. He walked along the fence and into the field of tall grass. He got down on all fours and sniffed along the ground. He sniffed the blades of grass, trying to pick up the scent of mice. And finally, there it was. Mice, mice, Mice sense. Hannibal stopped. He licked his lips and pounced. Two little field mice were trying to hide beneath the grass, but Hannibal caught them. He was so excited. He grabbed the mice by their tails and ran as fast as he could back to the clubhouse. He stuffed the mice beneath some mulch and covered them with a piece of the cardboard. Hannibal was happy. He started dancing around the clubhouse and singing. He was rubbing his paws together and licking his lips when the dogs returned. Boots, Rudy, and Sam came running into the clubhouse, laughing and making all kinds of noise. Each had a tennis ball in his mouth, and they were chasing each other, dropping the balls and bumping into everything, when the piece of cardboard covering the mice moved. "Woof!" barked Sam. The tails of the two mice were sticking out from the mulch pile, and Hannibal was trying to cover them up when Boots realized that Hannibal had been hiding something. "Move out of the way, Hannibal," barked Boots. "What do you have hidden there?" woofed Sam as he went over and pushed the mulch away from the mice. The little mice were scared. They were huddled together, and their eyes were big and their teeth were chattering. They could barely breathe, let alone run. "Hannibal, you promised no mice," barked Rudy. "I know I promised, Rudy, but you don't understand. I love mice. I love them boiled, I love them broiled, I love them fried. Why, heck, I even like them poached. I love mice," Hannibal sang in his most cat-like meow. "Get those mice out of this clubhouse and you can go with them," barked Boots. "He can stay, just let us leave," squeaked the older mouse. "Yeah, let me stay and let them leave," agreed Hannibal, hoping that he would see the mice again soon, very soon. "Mice, get out of here. And don't come back," woofed Sam. "You're free." The two little mice scurried away from the mulch pile and sat quietly, watching to see what was going to happen before going back to their home in the tall grass. "We need to have a meeting and talk about this," Rudy barked. The three dogs and Hannibal gathered around the center of the clubhouse. Boots called the meeting to order. "This meeting of the barkers will come to order," Boots barked as he pounded the gavel, which was really one of the rawhide bones that Sam had contributed, on the ground. "The first order of business is about breaking promises. Hannibal, you broke a promise. What do you have to say for yourself?" Hannibal couldn't help himself. He looked to the sky, he licked his lips, and he danced as he sang, "I love mice. I love them boiled, I love them broiled, I love them fried. Why, heck, I even like them poached. I love mice." "Hannibal, you weren't supposed to bring mice into the clubhouse. No mice is a rule, and you promised not to break it," Sam woofed. "But Sam, I couldn't help myself." "I won't do it again, I promise," purred Hannibal. "Let's take a vote," barked Rudy. The dogs woofed, barked, and whimpered among themselves, and finally voted. "How do you vote?" barked Boots. "I vote to keep Hannibal in the clubhouse, but put him on probation for 1 month, woofed Sam. "What's probation?" meowed Hannibal. "Probation means that you can still be a member of the club, but if you break any more promises, then you will be out of the club forever," Sam barked as he stood firm and looked straight into Hannibal's eyes. "I vote no probation. Let's just throw him out of the club now. This is why cats and dogs can't be friends," Rudy growled. "So it's up to you, Boots, to break the tie. How do you vote?" "Let's compromise," Boots woofed as he looked over at Hannibal sitting against the cardboard box. Hannibal was worried. "What does compromise mean?" he meowed. "To compromise means that each of us has to give in a little so that we can come to a decision that we can all live with, even if it isn't exactly what one of us might want," woofed Boots. "So I vote to suspend Hannibal from the club for 1 full week." "Well, what does suspend mean?" Hannibal purred sorrowfully, with his head hanging down. "Suspend means that you're out of the club, but only temporarily, not permanently," Rudy growled sullenly. Boots continued. "Okay, let's see. Where was I? Oh, yeah, I vote that we suspend Hannibal for 1 full week and then let him come back, but on probation for 1 month. Now, Rudy and Sam, how do you vote?" Sam and Rudy turned their backs and talked about what they should do. Okay, 1 week's suspension and 1 month's probation, Sam barked. I'll go along with the two of you, but just remember I told you so, barked Rudy. Okay, it's settled then. Hannibal, you can stay in the club, but these are the rules. Boots woofed as he explained the rules to Hannibal. Your suspension starts now. Hannibal agreed to the terms, shook paws with the 3 dogs, and hung his head as he left the clubhouse. But as he walked away, Sam was sure that he could hear Hannibal singing, I love mice. I love them boiled, I love them broiled, I love them fried, why heck, I even like them poached. I love mice. So Hannibal did have some punishment, didn't he? Because what we say and do is important. When we make a promise, we need to keep it. A promise is a commitment of trust. It's our pledge that we will do as we say. So next week, we're going to find out who else learned a lesson. We're going to read Finders Keepers. Thank you, and have a great day.